Get me that signal. We need more power.
She's the night nurse, Rosario Dawson! Last but not least, there's one more. Mr. Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox! Thank you guys for doing this. How fun is this con experience meeting the fans? I imagine you guys are starting to do this a lot. You're in such a hit show, like, tell me about that experience. Does it still sort of blow your mind that all these people are just here dying to meet these characters and you guys?
For me, it's quite new. It's the second convention I do, and I really like it. It's always a nice moment to meet, people who genuinely love the show, and so I'm having a good time.
Yeah, thanks for coming out on a Sunday. That's so cool, you guys. Thank you.
I'm curious. So, I mean, it's an amazing show, you guys. But there was a previous on-screen incarnation of this Daredevil franchise. Was there any trepidation when you got the project, or was it just so good you knew this was going to blow fans' minds?
I didn't know what it was when I auditioned for it.
It's not a joke. I really didn't.
And then when I got the first two scripts, they were amazing. So
none of you watched the movie before you started.
I have. I knew.
So, be honest. Yeah, what was it?
I was a little scared.
What changed?
I felt the pressure, if anything. Not necessarily scared because I read the material, so I knew what we were doing was amazing. But I just felt that pressure of other people like wondering and feeling that, and just wanting to make sure that what we were doing was going to be able to hold on its own and not have to be about being better than something or different, but just being its great own thing.
Charlie,
I'm a big Riff Tracks fan, and they did a riff of the original Daredevil movie, so I watched that. I watched the riff with the movie, and now they are going to riff the first episode of our Daredevil.
Are you joining? You should join them.
No, I'm terrified. You're kidding? I don't actually watch the show, so I was like, I don't know if the first time I watch my series should be with my heroes mocking me. But I think that's like a fun little crossover for me, at least.
Oh, that's a great cut. I love you even more that you love Riff Tracks. Charlie, did you watch the movie before at any point?
I did. I did. I mean this. I do think that Ben Affleck did a great job. I actually really liked his Matt Murdock. I think the movie has some problems. It was fun to watch. I think our show is totally completely different, so it's very hard to compare the two. But I did have a friend who, when I got the job, he was visiting New York and we went out for coffee, and he said, "Did you get the Daredevil job?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "The bar is low."
Not anymore, Charlie. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Very true.
Well, you guys have done so much even beyond Daredevil. Is it true, Ellen, that you were a baby model?
sorta. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Started out doing like print ads and stuff.
But you've been doing like ducks. I mean, so much fun stuff throughout the whole right? But all of it's done so much fun work. Is there one role or part in the past that you wish you could be blind to? Get it? Because you guys have done so much over the years. Is there one part you'll admit, you know what, I won't want that one on my record?
A job we've done.
Yeah, like a past part or role. Because you've been in.
Yeah, for sure. Are you guys actually struggling to think of something?
I go through it. It's like a lot. You guys have all done so much amazing work.
I like go through my resume. I'm like, there's a couple that I'm like proud of. You know, the rest I'm like, oh.
one that comes to your head.
So I did a Spanish movie that when I signed up for it, I thought I was kind of interesting. Had some interesting people attached. When I got there, it was basically a porno, and it's maybe the most horrible movie you've ever seen in your life.
I don't know.
Oh no, but, trust me. Okay, let me give you an example. The guy who wrote it didn't speak English. He wrote it in English. And, there's this true story. There's a scene in the film where the other English actor says to me, they wouldn't let us change anything. We tried to help them, they weren't having it. And there was one scene where this guy says, do you want, I have to see her again, the girl who left, I have to see her again. And I have to say back to him, do you want me to went with you? Instead of, do you want me to go with you?
You didn't try it? You wouldn't
No,
like change it?
I asked them, I said I can change it if you want. They said no. So I'm like, fine, exactly how it's written.
You gotta look this up. Anybody else gonna dip one?
I just, when I have folks come up for signing, I love all your movies. I'm like, you clearly have not seen all of them. Because only my mom likes Pluto Nash.
It's so hard to talk. You know, the season 2 was left so open-ended, so it's very hard to know. But I think, and this is again, I have to preface this by saying this is really is a guess. But I think what we saw in terms of Matt and Daredevil and that journey that he's on, the personal journey that he's on, where we get to the end of season 2 and he kind of fails. You know, nothing kind of really works out in the end. And for him at the end of season 2, which is one of the reasons I loved what the writers did with that season, because it's nice to see, I think it's important to see the failures as well as the successes. I think one of the reasons that has to happen is because going into the Defenders, Matt is going to have to learn that he needs help, that he can't do all this alone, and that maybe some teamwork is going to actually be beneficial. So whatever lessons he learns in the Defenders will then play into, I think, season 3 and how he goes forward from there. If that makes sense.
Also, Charlie, I thought you were great in Stardust.
Great. Rosario, I'm curious. Did you know that that the night nurse would become this thread through all of these shows ahead of time? When did you find that out? How do you feel about that now?
I think it's awesome. I did not know. I mean, I've been signing on every year, just on its own. So it's never even, I think you signed on for a few years, depending on, and still not knowing if it would happen, 25 years. Yeah. I feel like I've had a really different sort of experience in that, where I just really don't know. And then when I do sign up, I sign up for episodes, but they don't tell me which shows. So I have no idea, I'm just sort of working and have this question mark for the entire year of just when are they going to call me and for what and how is it going to show up. And when I do, I come in pretty late. So I won't get those first couple of episodes. I think that's what happened in the second season when I came on. They didn't send me any of the previous episodes, so I suddenly just came in the middle of all of this insanity, and they're like, you'll watch it at the premiere like the rest of us. So I don't know exactly. My character's sort of a little standalone in that sense, because I come in on those very particular moments of needing to be helping a situation, so I don't really know all the preamble and everything that got us there. And then I get the following episode, so it's really fun to follow, but I really have no idea.
What you do
where they inject me where Claire needs to, seal and solve a wound. That's where I come in.
Well, there was one thing that I thought was really cool is in the second season, we had a scene together, and in the storyline we hadn't seen each other for a long time, and when it took place at the hospital, and Rosario Claire Temple has a cut on her eyebrow. So I was like, what's that to do with? And apparently it had nothing to do with our world, but it's part of Luke Cage. So that the timeline had been kind of thought through and worked out so that whatever was going on in Luke Cage, which I don't know, but somehow, at some point during that show, the next day, she's in the hospital talking to me, which I just think, just those little nuggets I think are really cool.
That's some serious continuity. And they're like, oh, we're giving her a scar here, so you got it on this episode. Elodie, you real black belt in karate, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yeah, right? So has this role been like a dream for you? Like, I imagine that's like the coolest shot as a black belt to then become Elektra, like.
Yeah, but I think what really excites me about the part is that there's more to her than just being a real badass. And I really enjoy when I have my costume and I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, now I'm gonna get to kick some ass. I like it, it's really cool. Yeah, but you know, she's so interesting to try to understand that. So that's really what I enjoy the most, you know, playing her, being her.
No, and kudos, because that was one of my first reactions when I watched the depth you were bringing. There was way more to it than just the standard superhero girl in a show. So, yeah, round of applause. She brought so much. Now that I've met her, do you think you actually kick everybody's ass up here?
Charlie tried, like, he trained hard, so I think I might struggle a bit, but yeah, still, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there's a great, one of my favorite moments of season 2 was when we were shooting the stairwell fight scene in episode 3. A massive shout out to Phil Silvera and Chris Brewster, the stunt guys who do so much of that. When we got to the point where John is in the elevator and I come back out and I've got the gun strapped to my hand, and then there's a what they call a rack focus from the gun to my face, and I smile, and it's basically the cover of No One Mr. Nice Guy. And you know, those moments are like, I love it when we reference a comic like that, an image that is so iconic, and we get to have it in the show. And you know, some people pick up on it, a lot of people don't, maybe. So anything that we can do like that, all those Easter eggs, I know.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's really weird because New York is incredibly gentrified right now. So I actually grew up in very gritty New York, and this is not very gritty New York. So they're having to use a lot of filters to make it look like that. Because, I mean, Hell's Kitchen doesn't even really exist anymore. We shot a lot of Jessica Jones and Daredevil on the Lower East Side, which is amazing and great. But when I grew up there living in a squat with one working street lamp, and no police ever came when you called them. It was a very different New York with graffiti on the trains, and you know, it just was a really different New York. You can see it in like Dog Day Afternoon, but you don't, it's really hard to create it now. So what I love actually about it is because these stories were written in that time. And by bringing that feeling back to New York, I think there's a real connection to that. That's what people still think of New York when they go. I think they're very surprised that it doesn't, or they're happy because it's nice to have safety. Safety is a good thing. I'm not complaining about safety. It's a bit weird when like girls are walking down the street at 4 o'clock in the morning with like headphones in and like can't find my keys and like dropping their stuff on the floor. I'm like, Target, I kind of want to rob you on principle. This is still New York. Bad things don't happen, but that's cool. I hope you get home safely. But like, I think it's good to kind of keep that energy of what I like about, especially with Daredevil, is that it's not necessarily super overt. There's definitely like muggings and things like that, but it's really talking about the sinister stuff that happens behind doors that we don't necessarily pay attention to. The people who we look up to and admire who are not necessarily heroes. And kind of being a little bit more thoughtful and smart about it, so it doesn't look like seedy New York. You don't just get away with just going, oh, it's just a dangerous place. It's like, no, it's a great place. It is what you make of it. And I like that evolution of New York having grown up there. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's surprisingly challenging, actually, and continues to be. Because the hardest thing is not necessarily what I do with my eyes, but it's, as you know, it's normally when I'm in a scene with someone like Rosario or Foggy, or even Elodie, Elektra, who knows about Matt and they know about his abilities. He would never have to kind of pretend to find something on a table. He would never have to not like research for something using his hands in a way that he would in front of Karen, because she doesn't know about, or until now hasn't known about his his heightened senses. So it's really tricky when we're filming, and often takes up a lot of time. You know, I remember scenes with Rosario where, you know, we're chatting, and I'm both Rosario and Electra actually, and Elodie, but I'm patching them up. You know, I'm trying to have a conversation here, and not look at the needle that is going through their skin.
You'd hurt me
Really
every
challenging,
single
though.
time.
Yeah, it took a lot of time. And I remember there was one scene where it was with Rosario, we were chatting, and there was a box that I had to pick up halfway through the scene, like the suture box behind me. And the amount of times I had to be like, to try and, you know, and I couldn't, that's not going to fly on camera because Matt would never do that. He would just grab it.
Where they catch the sweater thing in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's right. In episode 4 of season 1, you know, Claire throws the sweater at me from over there, and I have to catch it without looking at it because he would obviously never use his eyes to catch it. So we had a guy, as soon as Rosario picked it up, we had one of the ADs in the corner go, 1, 2, 3, now! So, yeah, it's very right.
How do you think if you had to guess Daredevil and Jessica Jones, how do you think they'd get along?
I'm so intrigued. I'm like genuinely like so intrigued to see what that relationship is going to be like. And I mean, I'm excited about all of those relationships, but I think that Danny Rand, Matt Murdock is kind of, that makes more sense to me at this point. Like I think that, you know, Matt will probably take him under his wing a little bit, and you know, I love the age difference between, I think Danny Rand's like 25 and Matt's obviously in his 30s, so, and of the 4, they're the 2 that kind of have the most iconic costumes. So, you know, I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's kind of funny to me that of that group, we're like, no, we're the costume guys. You guys do the wear your home clothes at work thing. We're in spandex, okay? So, but no, the Jessica Jones, I mean, like, they could love each other and they could hate each other. I have no idea. I'm very excited to see how that goes. But I think Kristen Ritter is awesome, so I can't wait to work with her.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause for these guys? Come on by, appreciate it. Thank them again. Big round of applause. Thank you guys so much. That was so fun.
With my bad 6, we need more power.